Hey guys, happy Friday. Just wanted to pop in here midway through week 2 and see how everybody's doing and touch base with a couple of updates and tips on some things as we progress. Let's see. If you didn't get the email from me earlier this week with an attached Word document with an APA template, please let me know. A few people had got in touch with me and said they were just having real difficulties getting headers and numbers and stuff aligned, and I know it drives me crazy to this day. I've been doing it for over a decade now, and I still can't always get Word to do what I want. So I sent out an APA template earlier this week for you to use. All you have to do is open it up and then edit it and put in your own information where the information that I have in there is placed, so it should be good to go. But if you need that and you didn't get it, just let me know and I can make sure that you do. It's also posted in our Week 5 discussion forum 1 as well. Anyway, okay, discussion-related things. Remember, if I just finished grading discussion posts last night from week 1 and got all those returned to everybody, so I got a good sense of kind of how people are doing and areas to encourage you to work on. So one of those is definitely citation. If you got a pretty high score on that discussion and you're wondering what kept you from getting like a perfect score, but you were in the A range, somewhere between 90 and 100, it most likely was that you didn't include in-text citations and reference entries, and that's a really important thing to start mastering here at this stage because it becomes even more important when you go into Comp 2 and then into any academic writing beyond that. Here in Comp 1, we're kind of just getting exposed to this. So, I'm not trying to penalize anybody too hard on that, but at the same time, I do kind of want to encourage you to work on those skills because they are definitely skills that you'll want to hone, and they're skills that you need to start learning how to master here in Comp 1. If I can help with any of that, just please feel free to get in touch with me. I had a few phone calls this week, some emails. It was great. Keep them coming. You'll never be bugging me. Shoot me a call, email, text, whenever. If I miss it, I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and I'm happy to work with you as much one-on-one about anything in this course as you want. Basically, I'm your one-stop shop for all things English related. You just gotta get a hold of me. So, okay, don't forget citations and reference entries for your discussion posts when you're discussing things from the text. And most of these posts will have requirements built in that somehow make you refer back to the text, and so therefore you should be including citations and reference entries. Okay, make sure you respond to peers. Make sure you respond to your peers in your discussion posts, even if you're going back just to make up work. Some of you have got in touch with me and are going, have gone back to make up discussion posts that you may have missed, and you may be thinking like, well, what's the point of posting a response to my peers? The real thing that counts is the main post, and it's too late. Nobody's going to see this anyway. However, the rubric that we use to grade the discussion posts, the system that we use, really deducts a lot of points when you don't do that. So you could have a great initial post, flawless, and then by not answering any peers, it will bring you all the way down to C plus B minus range. So if you're going back and you're making things up, or even as you're doing them, it's just really important that you respond to your peers, because otherwise you're taking unnecessary hits on that grade that you don't need to take. I mean, it's better to reply to a peer with something than it is with nothing at all. Obviously, I would encourage you to meet the requirements for replying to your peers and do so in a timely fashion and substantively, and provide good insight. I know sometimes if you're swamped and you're behind already, you may think like, okay, well, I'm just going to post the main one and not do the other ones. Post something for your other peers so that when I go through, I don't have to knock you down so badly with our rubric. So, make sure you respond to peers. Okay. Then the other things I just want to talk about were grammar stuff. As we're moving towards building this paper that you're building right now, you'll want to make sure that at the end of your first paragraph, your introductory paragraph, you have a thesis statement. I know you guys were working on the outline with thesis statement and intro paragraph this week, so that's kind of what I want to talk about that a little bit. Your thesis statement should sort of pull everything together that you've had in your paragraph, and then sort of sum it up and give your reader an idea of where your paper is going and the order that the information will be presented. But you want to do that without doing what's called announcing and saying something like, this paper will be about. We consider that sort of weak writing, and in academics we encourage you to just sort of state the thing without announcing what you're doing. So let's say, for example, that I am going to write my personal narrative essay about learning to play the guitar. And I learned to play the guitar when I was 22, and I fell off of a roof and broke my leg and was laid up for about 8 weeks, and I picked up the guitar. So I'm going to structure my essay around life before the accident, and then life after the accident, and how I learned to play the guitar. So with my thesis statement, I might put something together like, although it didn't seem like it at the time, the fall from the roof that I experienced at 22 allowed me to have the time necessary to learn how to play the guitar, and this changed my life forever. And so right there, I've got a succinct thesis statement that lets the reader know, okay, this story is about something that happened to this guy, and he's fell off a roof, and now he's learned to play the guitar. And furthermore, it also sort of, with the language that I used, put the information in the order that it'll come. How I didn't know this thing was going to happen, then an accident happened to me, and then I learned to play the guitar. So sort of chronologically and in the way that my story will unfold. So that's what you'll want to do. You'll want to create this single sentence at the end of your first paragraph that pulls everything together, sums it up, and also lays out for the reader, okay, this is the order that information is going to go in. Please feel free to send me drafts of thesis statements via email. I'm happy to take a quick look and then shoot right back to you and give you feedback on that. Crafting a good thesis statement is an essential academic writing skill, and it's one that comes with practice, like everything else. I mean, some people are better writers for a variety of reasons and can kind of latch onto that really easily, and then other people need to kind of work with the idea a little bit, and that's totally fine. I just encourage you, hey, if you need some feedback and want some input, please just get a hold of me. Okay, and we're at 7.5 minutes here, so I'm going to wrap this up quick. The last thing I just wanted to talk about was comma splices. By far the most common grammatical error that I see in general, and that I'm starting to see in this class, is just a sort of a vagueness about how to use commas, and this can often wind up with people committing what are known as comma splices. And that's when you use a comma to connect stuff that it's not meant to connect. A comma is sort of a light piece of punctuation in that it can only be used within one sentence or one complete thought. A sentence should always have 3 parts: the subject, the verb, and then anything else that comes afterward, the predicate. But definitely always subject and verb. For example, the shortest sentence in the Bible is, Jesus wept. It's got everything you need for a complete thought. It's got a doer of action and the action. Everything else is sort of complementary to that in terms of grammar. So what I encourage you to do is, as you're writing your sentences, ask yourself, how many complete thoughts do I have in this sentence? In other words, how many subjects and verbs paired together do I have? And if you come to more than one as your answer, make sure that you're not separating these two ideas with just a comma, because a comma is not strong enough. It only supports within one idea. I believe I gave some feedback or examples about this in my instructor guidance for, I think it's either this week or next week. I don't have my computer booted up right in front of me, but the point is, make sure that you are thinking about your sentences in terms of complete thoughts and subject plus verb. And then anything else, if you're trying to connect 2 thoughts with a comma, that's not quite strong enough, and you really want a comma plus a conjunction like and or but or nor, or you could use a semicolon instead of a comma, or just a period. So here quickly, for example, is a brief one made up off the top of my head. I came down the stairs this morning, comma, I went into the kitchen and got breakfast. Why is that incorrect? Because that comma is not strong enough to connect those 2 complete independent ideas. The first one, I came downstairs this morning, has everything. I came downstairs this morning. Subject, verb, predicate. And then the second one, I went and made breakfast. I went, made breakfast, same thing. So those are actually two different sentences in a way, or two complete thoughts. And to properly connect them, you don't want just a comma. I could say, I went downstairs this morning, comma, and I went in the kitchen and made breakfast. Or, I went downstairs this morning, semicolon. I went in the kitchen and made breakfast. Or, I went downstairs this morning, period. I went in the kitchen and made breakfast. Either way, the key here is don't just rely on the comma to separate individual thoughts. It can be easy to do because when we talk, we sort of do that. And the comma feels like a pause. You say something, and if it's connected to something else, you're just sort of pausing. But in written grammar, that's a little bit different, and you need something more than just a comma. So, okay, I'm going to wrap up now since we're at 10 minutes already. But please get a hold of me about that, and I'll keep working with you guys on this as we progress. But yeah, I hope you guys have had a good week so far and have a great rest of your week, and I hope you have a productive weekend and take a little time for yourself too and enjoy your friends, family, loved ones. You know, it's always important to have balance in your life, and it's a task that I'm still learning even now, but it's definitely vital to make sure that you have balance for that work time, family and personal time, and school time, and don't get too caught up putting all your time eggs in one basket, so to speak. So anyway, yeah, make sure you look out for yourself. And that's it. I'll be around all weekend. Feel free to hit me up. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can if I see anything from you. And other than that, all right, have a great week, guys.